Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we'll meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they went beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, their firms, and their clients. And let's applaud lawyers who care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Tabitha Taylor. She is the co-founder of Bryant Taylor Law in Plantation, Florida. And Tabitha's practice is focused on providing legal services to South Florida's business community. And welcome, Tabitha.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrew.
So tell us what brought you to the law in the first place.
So I was first generation in general, also first generation high school graduate and college graduate, and I guess law school graduate by default. But I knew that I wanted to do something that was completely different than the route that my family took. I knew that I was very privileged for the sacrifices that, my mother and grandmother put in to let me be able to do these things. And I kind of was always drawn to the law as a kid. It's stereotypical. Everyone's like, oh, you argue so much, you should be a lawyer. And I don't know if that kind of like planted the seed somewhere in my head, but I really just was drawn to it. I love reading and writing. I love the flexibility of being able to look at a position, have a very strong stance on it, and somebody else look at the exact same set of facts and be able to present a completely different argument, and neither of us are necessarily wrong. And I just think that there's something so powerful in that creativity and that ability to think critically. And so that's kind of where I guess I kind of, again, I don't know if it was the conditioning as a child or just a natural magnetism to the industry and kind of how you're trained and the value that you bring, because you don't have to practice law. Once you graduate law school, the skills that you have are completely different than any other career. I actually remember being told during our orientation first year of law school, appreciate the way you think and the way you see the world now, because once you graduate law school, your brain will never think the same way again. And that is so true.
And so you're applying that to a particular, business segment or legal segment. Do you want to share what that niche is and how you came upon it?
Yeah. So my co-founder and I both started in litigation. We currently are just strictly med spa business attorneys. So we work within the medical aesthetic industry. And the way we kind of came upon this, I really think is a combination of passion and circumstances. So when we were in litigation, our jobs, and we worked at different firms, our jobs were to go to court and defend our client or advocate on behalf of our client if we were on the plaintiff side. And typically those were contract disputes. And so being able to see how the court interpreted those contracts and how a jury were to interpret those contracts, we both realized, one, we'd rather be on the other side of it. We'd rather try to prevent these issues from even coming to court in the first place. And so when we started our firm, we strictly were business transaction attorneys. And we took what we learned in the courtroom and applied that in how we drafted our contracts for the clients, because we knew, okay, this is how it's going to be interpreted more likely than not in front of the judge or jury. So let's protect that. Where there was an ambiguity that one time we were in court, let's make sure we kind of close that gap here. As our business grew, we thought we were niched. We were not. We thought as business attorneys that was a niche. And then, with experience, you learn. Somehow, some way, we just naturally started getting clients that were med spas or in the medical aesthetic industry.
And how's the market there in the Plantation area? That's, you'll forgive me as a New Yorker, that is in the Palm Beach County?
Broward County.
Broward County. Okay. And so is that a big opportunity for you? Like, is it a big market?
It's huge. And we actually help med spa owners or medical aesthetic businesses all over the US, not just in Florida, but our main client base is in Florida. And there are not a lot of attorneys that do what we do. So you have healthcare attorneys. The healthcare attorneys are very, very prevalent in every single state. You have business attorneys, but specifically med spa business attorneys, is something I think I've only ever seen 3 other law firms in the nation that do it. That's not to say there's not more, but they're just not that I was able to discover.
Tabitha, what do you like about that part of the law? Or what do you like about your clients?
I love, well, kind of going back to why I became a lawyer in the first place, I love the ambiguity of it. The medical aesthetic industry is growing at a rapid pace. It's projected to be a $30 billion industry, I believe, by 2027 or 2028. And the growth year over year is insane. So it is a widely expanding industry. And because of that, the law is constantly playing catch up. And the unfortunate part of it is that these entrepreneurs who are really good nurse practitioners or doctors, or here in Florida, anybody can own a med spa. If you're just wanting to provide a service to people, make them feel better about themselves, maybe they were going through cancer and now they want to rejuvenate their hair, all of these different things, there's such value in what they do. And it's very unfortunate that the law doesn't help them. There are so many areas about scope of practice, who can do what treatments, what kind of devices is permissible in this situation versus that, what permits and licenses do I need? If you call the nursing board, if you call the Department of Regulation, professional regulation, they're going to put you in circles. They're going to be like, I can't give you legal advice, sorry, but the statutes aren't clear either. And I love being able to come in and be like, listen, you provide such a value to our community in general. It's unfortunate that you're set up to fail to a certain extent because nobody's giving you guidance. But if you break the law, they're going to come down on you hard. You could lose your license. You could face big fines that bankrupt you. So the fact that we can come in and give clarity and that peace of mind of here's what you need to be doing. Or if there's just no law on point because the law is playing catch up, then it's here's best practices. Since we don't have a clear answer, analyzing and kind of taking from other laws that are similar, here's the best course of action in this situation, and let's assess that risk together. And that gives them the ability to focus on what they do best and keep helping people feel good about themselves while we can take off that worry from them. And we're giving them that peace of mind of you're doing it the right way. No one's going to come knocking on your door, put you in jail for the unlicensed practice of medicine, or take away your license or your business. And that's really what we love most about what we do.
So Tabitha, then, if there was going to be a takeaway as we wrap up, if you could leave our listeners with one takeaway, and let's assume that, your listeners are going to be both existing and prospective med spa folks, what would it be?
Lawyers are investments. They absolutely are. And they need to be part of, whether you work with us or someone else, they need to be part of your core team, just like an accountant, just like someone setting up your PEO. We're here to protect what you're building. We're not here to tell you what you can't do. We're here to make sure you do it without risk and liability.
That's perfect. By the way, my guest, Tabitha Taylor of Bryant Taylor Law in Plantation, Florida. Tabitha, can you provide our audience with your contact info?
Absolutely. So our website is sbttlaw.com, or you can contact us at 954-282-9331.
Wonderful. This has been the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. Tabitha's a perfect example. If you're an attorney or know one who does go above and beyond, feel free to reach out to us, 914-666-6600. And Tabitha, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrew.